are deficient in copper. And now some people, how do you measure copper? That's another thing that people ask. And this is also a chicken versus egg question, which came first. A lot of times people will test slightly high copper in their blood because you have inflammation. Your body is releasing the copper, trying to circulate it to the source of inflammation in order to reduce the inflammation, in order to support those SODs and the anti-inflammatory and the antioxidant pathways. Oftentimes after somebody has a heart attack, their copper levels will test high. Copper is being sent into the blood, sent to the inflammation that's happening to repair. It's not that the copper caused the heart attack, which some people believe. It's the copper is responding to the inflammation of the heart attack.
Right. The firefighters did not cause the fire.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a correlation between a fire and firefighters, but the firefighters didn't cause it. And that's where a lot of MDs that just jump right into looking at the numbers. It's not about the numbers, it's about the interpretation of the numbers.
This is probably why some nutritional testing companies actually test intracellular minerals and antioxidants and all that,
Exactly.
instead of looking at the blood levels, because
exactly.
you really
testing blood levels.
Yeah.
Testing blood levels tells you what's circulating in the body, not what's actually in the cells being utilized.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so sounds like everyone could benefit from getting some copper supplement. But are there any good food that people can take a lot of to actually get enough copper?
So we talked about the nutrition level and how it's been decreased in a lot of our foods. So the foods, let's start out with the foods. How many people eat organ meats every day? How about organ meats, oysters, shellfish, whole grains, leafy greens, shiitake mushrooms, nuts, dark chocolate, bee pollen are all really high in copper. But even if you're getting enough of these, again, back to those digestive issues that we talked about, we actually only absorb from food about 30 to 40% of the copper that we're getting in our foods. So according to the FDA, the average American gets between 1.2 and 1.3 milligrams of copper in our diet, but we're only absorbing about 30 to 40%. That's what puts us down into that 400 to 500 microgram range when we're talking about copper in our bodies, because all those GI issues now take into fact that all of our, how about people tell me all the time, oh, I eat enough leafy greens. I'm a vegan, I'm a vegetarian, I eat enough leafy greens. Well, you got to eat like 5 times, 10 times the amount that we did 50 years ago in order to get the nutrition from food 50 years ago, when some of the studies were done on the RDIs and what we needed. So our soils are so depleted. So it's really about that supplementation. Why do we supplement with, why do we take multivitamins? Why do we supplement with everything? Because our food has become less and less nutritious. So by adding in that little bit of supplementation, adding in that little bit of sovereign copper that is easily absorbed in the correct forms, a little can go a long way when it's in the correct form. And that's very important.
So what's the best way to take the copper supplement? What time of day?
Copper taken on an empty stomach is great to get it in, because you're going to start absorbing it into your blood system, but just by swallowing it. I love taking it and swishing it in my mouth a little bit. Think about we talked about this with silver too, the mucosal associated pathways, mucosal associated lymph tissue in our body, as well as the capillary bed under